Oh my goodness, we did it. We've done it. As you can see here, Diamond 2. We've achieved Diamond 1 with Floowandereeze. 200 gems. I thought it was 300. Either way. Oof. That was intense. We've reached the highest rank. Floowandereeze has done it, boys. Rejoice. Rejoice. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these matches. Alright, here we go. This was the rank up match. I was going in thinking like, oh my god, if I just win this, I could do well. Look at this. We're going second. I haven't drawn Shifter going second in a long time. And I'm like, oh my god, the algorithm is with me at this point. Because I'm like, tier limit, right? They got to be on tier limit. This hand is actually cracked against tier limit. Because the Shifter alone shuts down all their plays. All they could really do to interrupt is like have an Imperm or a Sulliek, right? With a tier limit name. But we're going to draw for turn and we got an Extravagance. So I'm like, okay, I'm confident that I can have some plays here. Okay, the opponent is going to main phase 1, activate Duality, and I'm just like, oh my god, please, not the mirror match. No, not the mirror match, please. Shifter, I'm like, it's the mirror match. But Solemn Judgment and Evac, and I'm just like, oh my god, not the mirror match. Maybe it's Stun. And they also take Solemn, which is a problem. That definitely like stops our hand. Now you're going to notice I'm not activating Shifter because I don't want to reveal what I'm on. Right? If I activate Shifter, they're like, he's not on tier limit. Let them think that I'm on tier limit. Look at this. They're doing my job for me. Activate D-Fissure. That's fine. Resolve their duality. That's fine. Play as if I'm Shifter, as if I am tier limit. Summon Barrier Statue of the Inferno. How the tables have turned. No Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, but this is fine because we don't special summon. We know one of these set cards is definitely a Solemn Judgment. Now it's just a matter of what are these other two? Can we play around them? So turn change, and I'm just like, I actually might have a chance to win this going second. Draw into Advent. What a top deck. So this is important, right? Because this is going to either, like I have a couple plays, right? Extravagance, will that force out the Solemn? Probably not. Advent, will that force out the Solemn? Probably yes, maybe no. This technically should force out the Solemn because this just the percentage of Floowandereeze bricking should let you know like I don't want them to resolve this. Let them go -2, banish a card from their hand, which, you know, they get back anyways at a later date probably. But don't let them get the card that they need off Advent, because this card searches map, which unbricks your hand with any bird, or it searches the Robina, right? Most of the time it's going to search map. Like, it will search Robina if you have no card. So, you know, this is our thought process here. So we're going to start, activate Extravagance. Again, not activating Shifter, right? Now, Shifter is dead in our hand. That's fine. That's fine. We draw into DD Crow, and we draw into Unexplored Winds. This is the card to beat back row. This is amazing, okay? So we're definitely going to be able to play around the Solemn. It's just a matter of, do they have Solemn Strike and a second Solemn Judgment, or some other floodgate like Soul Drain, Skill Drain, whatever, right? But, you know, Skill Drain, I don't think they'd use that because that would make Barrier Statue unactivatable, which would turn on the graveyard for tier limit cards. So it's probably not Skill Drain, right? Okay, Advent. That's the first thing we want to do. Does that bait out the Solemn Judgment that we know they have? No, it doesn't. It baits out one of their other trap calls, Armory Call. Perfect. They know I'm on Floowandereeze now at this point, right? So likely what they bring with this is that Moon Mirror Shield card, which again, I'm aware of because I know Stun plays that. That's totally fine, right? So I'm not going to explain what this does really, or read the card I should say, but I'll just briefly explain it is what I meant. So basically if I attack or they attack me, this card will make it so that the attacking monster or the monster that's getting attacked that has this equipped gains 100 attack and defense, on top of what the monsters that it's battling with has. So it means that it never loses a battle, pretty much. So we get map, we activate map. Now, I'm thinking, okay, the opponent knows that this is at 1, right? They're not in Diamond 2, not knowing what Floowandereeze is. So they're probably thinking, I'm going to negate this. With Solemn Judgment, you can't negate the effects. You have to negate the activation of the spell or trap, like the playing of the card, I believe. So when I play this is where they have to opt to negate. And sure enough, they burn the Solemn Judgment on the Magnificent map. This is important because it also cuts their life in half. And I can actually go for game if this face down card isn't something I have to worry about. So right now, this setup, totally fine. I activate Unexplored Winds. This is the card that's going to win me the game. This is the card I needed to resolve, not map, because I already have Robina and Eaglin in hand, right? So I activate this. I notice there's no, like, it doesn't pass back priority to the opponent. I summon Robina. It doesn't pass back priority to the opponent. They don't have a response. to these cards, which means that this is likely something to be used in the battle phase, right? This is how you have to think. You have to pay attention to where the priority is shifting. So we're going to summon the Eaglin, and we don't search for Empin, okay? We have Empin banished right now from the Advent of Adventure, and we have Toucan in hand. We are going to now summon Toucan, bring back the Empin. Look at this play, right? Unexplored Winds out the Barrier Statue, bring out Empin. Barrier Statue goes, takes out Moon Mirror Shield with it. Moon Mirror Shield effect, pay 500 life points, put it back on top or bottom of their deck, whatever the effect is. Empin search, chain block with Robina. They have one card left. One card we have to deal with. We actually want we like D-Fissure. D-Fissure is great for us. Activate Unexplored Winds again, bring out Apex. Whatever they have, we would negate it with Apex. We out the whole board with Floowandereeze, and going second, that is the Diamond 1 match. Going second, the last two matches that we had to go Diamond 1 to get to Diamond 1. And that is how we hit it. Alright, so taking a look at this stun deck, it looks fairly similar to the other stun deck that we played that, again, might be in another video or earlier on in this one. This guy is playing 2 Barrier Statue of the Inferno, the Fossil Dyna, Inspector Boarder, the Banished cards, Pots, and a bunch of traps, the Summon Negates and the Strikes and the Solemns, which are really good. Anti-spell, because I think these will prevent the Kaleido from the summon back effect, I believe, because it's not summoned to the field when it's negated. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's why these are good. So yeah, we played against another stun deck, and it's the same concept here. Floowandereeze is able to play through 90% of this deck. Yes, the Solemns hurt us, but it doesn't beat us. We can always extend past that usually. The only card that really shuts us down is the Inspector Boarder, but you play Book of Moon, so you can deal with that to a certain degree. No major floodgates other than Anti-Spell Fragrance, which does hurt Floowandereeze, but not as much as, There Can Only Be One or something, right? That really hurts. And then for the extra deck, they just have a bunch of utility cards. So something we definitely could deal with, which is refreshing, because Floowandereeze doesn't have things that it can, easily say it wins against, I should say. It's always a grind game, but yeah, that was our Diamond 1 match deck list opponent, or deck list for the opponent. Alright, this is our first match of Diamond 2, and to start things off, our hand looks pretty good as long as we don't get interrupted. We got the Advent that's going to banish the Empin to search for map. We're going to activate map, and we're going to banish the Eaglin. Now, when we summon Robina, we're going to have a couple of options here. Do we want to potentially go for a DD Crow, or do we want to go for Toucan to potentially grab double Empin play, setting up both an Unexplored Winds and a Dreaming Town trap? We opt to go for the Toucan play, and the opponent does reveal that they are on Herald of the Orange Light, pitching Kelbeck, which is really good. They're going to activate Kelbeck, mill 5. They get a Shaddoll Beast, but nothing else really of significance. They do have a Shuffler engraved now as well, but they do activate the Agido from their hand to bring back the Kelbeck. This is an Xyz play on their turn if they can't do anything else. But on our side, we mill a Book and the Stree. That's not great. We have a second Unexplored Wind, so that's not really a big deal, and we are able to resolve at least the Eaglin search for Empin and bring Toucan back to hand after it was negated by Herald of the Orange Light. So you can see there, despite being interrupted by Herald, we are still able to make plays. The opponent, though, is able to Heartbeat to get rid of the Dreaming Town trap during the draw phase by sending Merly, and fusing with the Shaddoll Beast, they opt to go into Mud Dragon. Not having any other plays, the opponent opts to make a Bagooska, and that's fine because we have Book of Moon set. This is another reason why Book of Moon is so good in this deck. We're going to draw for turn. It's a dead draw and shifter since the opponent mills stuff on our turn. We're going to book the Bagooska. The Mud Dragon can't save it because it's also negated by Bagooska when it's face up. And then afterwards, they're going to activate to make their Mud Dragon win to prevent it from being targeted by Ariza. But it doesn't matter because the opponent realizes that we're going to go full combo and they scoop it up. So first match of Diamond 2. If we go ahead and take a look at the opponent's deck list, it looks pretty standard, nothing out of the ordinary. This is probably as lean and cookie cutter as it gets for tier. So that's what it was like for our first match of D2. Alright, so starting off in the next match here, going second, a bricked hand, but we do have the duality to hopefully unbrick, and we will draw one card for going second. Thankfully though, going second, we do have the shifter. It's really hard to win going second in Diamond rank, I found. And hopefully you can just open shifter enough that you can stop the opponent's plays. And we prevented the mill of to the graveyard of 3 really good cards. So all of these are actually really nice to banish. 2 tier names and a Grave Shuffler. I do anticipate that this is a Ciliac or an Imperm though. We do draw into an Extravagance, which I now play 3 of in the deck, so that's great. We draw 2. Gonna go into Duality. We do draw a bird, so worst case scenario here, we can banish the Apex, but I really don't want to do that off of the Advent. So we are going to take the second Toucan here, and this is why I play 2 Toucans and 2 Strees, is because off of Advent or Gold Sark, it's just another combo starter by playing those extra birds and helps you to unbrick your hand. So just any way that I can find to increase consistency, that's what's worked for me so far. So of course we're going to activate Advent, banish a Toucan, activate Map, or bring Map, then activate Map, reveal the other Toucan, banish Robina, and as soon as I summon Toucan, this card lit up, so I know this is an Imperm or Sullik as expected. Now I have a couple of routes here, and I don't think I thought this through fully. So I summon Robina. If the opponent negates this, I still go into Apex. But they are going to let this resolve, and we bring back the Toucan, and we grab Eaglin. Now I could have gone into Apex, but I was thinking like if they flip up the Sulliek and try to negate Apex, I obviously have to negate it with Apex and destroy it. It would get banished because we're still under Shifter, and obviously at the end of the turn I will activate Fissure. So that was probably the right play because I still do have my normal summon here, and then just resume play, normal summon Eaglin, search Empin. But the problem is I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to tribute off Empin, right? Because I can't summon Toucan again. It would just end the summoning, and I can't tribute anything else for Empin. So I actually opt to bait out the trap by summoning Eaglin because I'm thinking having the Apex on board is better right now because I can beat over the Rhino that way. And so the opponent thankfully scooped after that. But yeah, there was a couple of lines there, and that was the decision that I decided to take. This opponent's deck, again, standard tier list. Haven't seen King of the Swamp in a list in a bit, but I think this is the better version to play. So yeah, King of the Swamp, Poly, and Guardian Chimera. Other than that, pretty standard, and 3 evenly matched. So we're starting to see this more and more.